The story begins in Shanghai City. Inside a warm apartment, a caring mother carefully feeds her infant son. She softly reflects that when he finishes his milk, he always drifts into a peaceful sleep. The mother admits she is a little jealous of how easily he sleeps, having lost so much sleep herself to care for him, but his healthy growth makes every sacrifice worthwhile. The baby Lin Zikin keeps drinking the milk. With each gulp, a number appears in his vision, showing his energy points increasing steadily by 1 point. Once his stomach is full and he is placed back into his cradle, the baby looks upward. A clear system interface window materializes before him. The window displays his personal information. His name is Lin Zikin. He is 30, his current days old, his current rank is ordinary tier 1, and he possesses no special attributes at this time. He reflects internally on his situation, feeling fortunate to have transmigrated with a powerful golden cheat system as his companion. His parents walk over to look at him in the cradle. His mother points out with affection that their baby is kicking his legs again. She remarks that he rarely cries or fusses, behaving like a perfect little angel. His father looks on with pride, adding that their son clearly shows exceptional talent from birth. He predicts with confidence that one day the boy will become a lofty gene fuser, or at the very least, a powerful cyborg. At that exact moment, the system notifies Lin Zikin of a new achievement. The notification states he has completed the task kick 10,000 times, and he has unlocked a reward. He obtains a unique BID attribute named Use It or Lose It. The system description explains that if he continuously trains the same body part, that part will grow stronger without end. However, this growth has a strict condition. It can never surpass the natural limits of a human body. The baby recalls the progress of his previous months. By the time he reached 3 months old, he had already accumulated 10,000 kicks through constant, diligent effort. He learned how to crawl at 4 months of age. By 5 months, he was already able to walk on his own. This incredibly fast physical development was only possible because of his cheating system. The system's rule is simple: endless repetition leads to infinite strengthening for any trained body part. When he was 6 months old, he often sat with his parents to watch television. From the programs, he learned about the 2 dominant superhuman paths in this transformed world. The first path is that of the cyborgs, who pursue mechanical ascension by integrating advanced technology and machinery into their bodies. The second path is that of the gene fusers, who gain extraordinary abilities by fusing their own genes with the genetic material of mutated beasts. Humanity's greatest enemies, naturally, are these very mutated beasts that appeared across the planet after a great transformation event. Soon after this period, a new family moved into the apartment next door. This family also had a young daughter, and her name was Shen Qingyan. This little girl would eventually become Lin Zikin's first and closest friend in this new world. At that early meeting, however, he had no idea just how deeply their destinies would become intertwined in the years to come. At 7 months old, Lin Zikin mastered more complex movements like running and jumping, and he also began to speak simple words. By 8 months, he started a secret training regimen, doing sit-ups to strengthen his abdominal muscles whenever his parents were not in the room. The saying proves true that if you walk by the river too often, your shoes will eventually get wet. One day, his mother accidentally caught him in the act. She rubbed her eyes in disbelief, unsure if she had really seen her infant son performing perfect sit-ups. When she looked again, he was already lying still, pretending to be ordinary. She concluded she had been working too hard on her novel recently and was simply having a vivid, stress-induced hallucination. A few days later, the mother was giving her son a bath. She suddenly called out to the father in a panicked voice, pointing out that their 8-month-old Chenchin already had visible, well-defined abdominal muscles. The father used his creative writer's mind to think it over. He connected their son's astonishing appetite with his early physical development. He suggests to his wife that their son might be a 1-in-a-million prodigy. He states it looks like Chenchin has a very bright future, most likely as a powerful gene fuser, or at the very least a notable cyborg. Lin Zikin internally sighs in relief as his secret cheat was nearly exposed, but thankfully his father's imaginative theory filled in the blanks perfectly. Having a pair of novelist parents was indeed a stroke of great luck for keeping his secret. The television news soon reports that he is not the only special child. A true prodigy with innate divine strength has appeared within a 1,000-year-old martial arts family in the capital city. This child, at only 2 years old, can lift a 20-kilogram dumbbell with a single hand. After watching the report, Lin Zikin's mother pats his head lovingly. She tells him her Chenchin is also amazing and will definitely not lose to those so-called elite family prodigies in the future. Lin Zikin thinks to himself that his mother is a good judge of character. He privately wonders if he himself will be able to lift 20 kilograms so easily when he turns 2. Time passes, and he quietly reaches his 2nd birthday. With the constant help of his practice makes power skill, he finds he can now also easily lift 20 kilograms with one hand, matching the famed capital prodigy. Right then, his mother calls for him. She says little sister Qingyan has come over to play with him and tells him to come out. He walks out to see the little girl, Shen Qingyan. She is happily holding an egg tart meant for him as a gift. He tells her she should eat it herself. Despite the enormous gap in their mental ages, he allows her to follow him and cling to him. Plus, her size and weight make her a perfect living accessory for his weighted training exercise. This human weighted accessory does have one small problem, however. She occasionally has accidents and wets herself. When this happens, Lin Zikin has no choice but to call for adult backup to help. By the age of 3, his training allows him to lift 40 kilograms with one hand, while the capital's prodigy, who is a year and a half older than him, can reportedly only lift 30 kilograms at this time. Lin Zikin looks at his own status panel and falls into deep thought, as his biological rank still stubbornly reads Ordinary Tier 1. He becomes very curious the next level, Ordinary Tier 2, might be like, and what lies beyond the accepted limits of humanity. Driven by this burning curiosity, he steps outside his family apartment for the very first time. On this first outing, he also sees real gene fusers and cyborgs with his own eyes. He is heading towards the public library. Since his parents restrict his screen time at home, the library becomes the best possible place for him to search for the knowledge and answers he desperately seeks. Through his dedicated reading at the library, Lin Zikin forms a clear new understanding of this mutated Earth's worldview. He discovers that ancient stone tablets and mysterious ruins record a universal system of power. The world classifies all life into 6 distinct biological arcs: ordinary, advanced, rare, epic, legendary, and mythical. Each of these formidable ranks is further divided into 9 progressive stages. Ordinary humans like his parents exist at the very bottom, ordinary rank, stage 1. The text described that in front of those high-ranked beings, ordinary people are less significant than ants. This knowledge creates a deep sense of urgency within him. He realizes he has to speed up his process of stealthily getting stronger. Only through relentless growth will he have a real chance to survive in this increasingly dangerous world. While he reads, the system provides steady notifications. Each book grants him small increases, like Spirit +1, Comprehension +1, and Knowledge +1. Then a major achievement notification appears. For cumulatively reading 100 million words, the reward is the biological trait Divine Intellect. A progress bar shows his extracurricular reading word count at 10 or 86 out of 100,000. He feels the system really understands his needs. It immediately assigns this new long-term mission right after he finishes his initial research. From that day forward, he begins diligently cultivating both his mind and his body simultaneously. He often does sit-ups while reading books, maximizing his time. By age 4, his total reading volume reaches an impressive 396 million words. His kindergarten life also begins that same year. Shortly after starting kindergarten, he successfully advances to Ordinary Tier 2. By that time, he can lift 80 kilograms with one hand. He can jump 1.2 meters high from a standstill. He can also sprint 100 meters in under 11 seconds. But his friend Shen Qingyan, however, faces problems. Other students often tease her and call her the bedwetting queen because she sometimes accidentally wets her pants. Lin Zikin cannot stand by and do nothing. He jumps onto the teacher's desk to address the class. He roars at the other children to shut up, declaring that from now on, anyone who calls her that name will have their own bedwetting troubles every day. The other kids become scared to tears by his display. Only Shen Qingyan looks at him with a face full of admiration and gratitude. The system then notifies him of his commanding presence. It states his domineering aura overwhelms the class and makes all the children fear him. He successfully unlocks the title King of Kindergarten. This achievement is part of a series called Dominate 9 Years of Compulsory Education. The title's King of Kindergarten is now unlocked, Top Dog of Elementary School is locked, and Middle School Overlord is also locked. He never expects that one roar will trigger another new mission chain. The previous reading mission is not even done, and a new one has already arrived. It seems missions can be progressed simultaneously, which is great news for his efficiency. Half a year later, he successfully completes the colossal reading mission. He obtains the biological trait Divine Intellect. From that moment, he possesses a true photographic memory and his learning ability reaches the absolute pinnacle of human potential. Time flies by, and in the blink of an eye, they are almost 7 years old, smoothly reaching their kindergarten graduation ceremony. During the vacation before elementary school, he continues to train and constantly improve himself. He can now lift 200 kilograms with one hand. His high jump breaks 2 meters, and his 100-meter dash is under 8 seconds. With the help of Divine Intellect, he has basically finished learning the entire elementary school curriculum in his spare time. Soon, his elementary school life begins. Since he is already self-studying middle and high school courses, elementary school competitions are a breeze for him. Winning awards feels trivial. His main goal is to unlock the Top Dog of Elementary School title as quickly as possible. Whenever he has free time, he gives Shen Qingyan private tutoring sessions. Although Shen Qingyan is not exceptionally talented, She makes up for it by being obedient and diligent. After one semester, her grades are already second in the class. The first place naturally belongs to him, which helps his progress toward the title. Besides studying, he actively participates in various events at the school sports meet. He breaks every school record easily. Just when he thinks he will repeat these daily routines and live out a peaceful elementary school life, a special transfer student appears in their class. The reason she is special is that he can sense an unusual aura on her that does not feel entirely human. She is assigned to the seat directly behind him. Just as the new girl passes by, Shen Qingyan whispers to Lin Zichen that the transfer student's hair is very beautiful, just like winter snowflakes. Lin Zichen has no mind to respond to this observation. He feels much more concerned about why this girl, Bai Shu, carries a non-human aura. He wonders if she could be a gene fuser or perhaps the descendant of one. For the next few days, Bai Shu displays unusual behavior. She simply lies on her desk motionless as soon as every class ends. At first, all the other students feel curious about her, but their interest soon fades away from lack of interaction. About a month later, a strange change occurs. A white, sticky liquid begins to secrete from Bai Shu's body. Lin Zichen does not know what the substance is, but it emits a foul odor. This condition causes her to meet with disgust and mockery from her classmates. One boy named Guan Chun goes too far. He pours a bottle of water over Bai Shu's head, claiming she stinks and saying he is helping her wash up. Lin Zichen expects the normally cold and silent girl to get angry, but instead, she just starts to sob quietly. The classmates who bullied her laugh loudly at her distress. Shen Qingyan cannot bear to watch this and hopes Lin Zichen will help. Although he still has not figured out Bai Shu's identity, he decides to step in. He walks over and places a hand firmly on the boy's shoulder. He tells Guan Chun to wipe the water off Bai Shu's desk immediately. Guan Chun is startled and agrees without protest, saying he will wipe it right away. He then quickly starts cleaning the desk because he knows Lin Zichen is the notorious little tyrant of the school, someone even the 6th graders do not dare to mess with. Next, Lin Zichen addresses the others. He orders every student who has bullied Bai Shu during this time to come over and apologize to her right now. The few students who had teased her flinch but then stand in a line. They collectively apologize to Bai Shu, admitting they were wrong and asking for her forgiveness. Bai Shu stops crying and expresses her sincere gratitude to both Lin Zichen and Shen Qingyan. From that day on, Shen Qingyan takes the initiative to approach the white-haired girl, pulling Lin Zichen along to befriend her. Whenever Shen Qingyan has good food, she shares it with Bai Shu immediately. Bai Shu finally voices the question that had been weighing on her mind. She asks why they are not disgusted by her bad smell. She explains that it is not a matter of trust, but that she has faced ostracism and contempt her whole life. She says the happiness of having someone by her side for the first time feels unreal, almost like a dream. Shen Qingyan replies resolutely that this is not a dream. She shares that she has had similar experiences in the past, so she would never despise Bai Shu. She promises that as long as Bai Shu is willing, they will always be good friends. The so-called bedwetting queen understands Bai Shu's pain perfectly. At that moment, Bai Shu hugs Shen Qingyan tightly, her tears flowing freely. She thanks them. Bai Shu then takes off the necklace from her neck. She tells Shen Qingyan and Lin Zichen that since they have given her food and friendship, she wants to give them something too. She explains that the pair of beast fangs on the necklace was a birthday present from her mom the previous year. She now gives it to them, hoping they will not dislike it and that they can be friends forever. Shen Qingyan takes the beast fangs with both hands and states happily that they will be best friends forever. Just as Shen Qingyan believes this friendship will last, the unexpected happens. A serious-looking cyborg arrives at school to handle the transfer procedures of Bai Shu. Lin Zichen overhears the principal saying her records are completely confidential. This confirms that the identity of Bai Shu is indeed not simple. From that day on, they never see Bai Shu again. She becomes just a passerby in their childhood memories. Compared to Bai Shu's sudden departure, the events that follow concern Lin Zichen more. News reports state that the prodigy from the capital has successfully fused with a mutated beast genes at the age of 10. He can now lift a 1,000-pound boulder with one hand. This surprises Lin Zichen. Before gene fusion, that prodigy could only lift a 100-kilogram barbell. After fusion, he can directly lift 500 kilograms, a 5-fold increase. However, Lin Zichen is only 8 and, without any gene fusion, he can already lift 300 kilograms with one hand. In that sense, his own potential seems even greater. After making this calculation, he still feels full of confidence for the future. However, that confidence shifts until he sees the next piece of news and truly understands the feeling of being dominated by fear. A neighboring country suffers a severe mutated beast attack. Footage from eyewitnesses shows the attack is related to giant mutated rats. A female office worker is swallowed whole by a mutated beast right on camera. Furthermore, The official investigation reveals that heretical cultists are behind this giant rat incident, actively fanning the flames of the disaster. A spokesperson from Sakura country appears on the news, making a desperate appeal to all nations for aid. The spokesperson expresses a hope that every country will join forces to jointly annihilate the heretical cultists responsible for the attacks. These so-called heretics are officially described as an anti-human organization. The group was founded by some human traders purely for their own selfish benefit. They have effectively become the running dogs of the mutated beasts, launching vicious attacks from within human society itself. Lin Zikin feels lucky to have been born in a militarily strong country with a relatively stable internal environment. This national strength allows him to continue growing and developing his power stealthily without constant external threat. Immediately after this thought, he hears the distinct sound of sonic booms outside his window. He rushes to look and sees many official cyborgs flying at high speed through the city skyline. By the next morning, he is waiting for Shen Qinghan to walk to school together as usual. He then notices the beast fang necklace Bai Shu had given her is actually emitting a very faint glow. It is only at that moment he determines with certainty this tooth must belong to a powerful mutated beast. He understands now why Bai Shu always carried a hint of a non-human aura about her. The source of that strange aura must have been this very tooth she constantly wore. After that realization, they proceed on their way to school. However, the large mobilization of cyborgs the previous night, combined with the strange phenomenon of the glowing beast fang, gives him a persistent bad feeling in his gut. He senses that something dangerous is about to happen in their city. As they are walking, they pass a suspicious red-haired woman on the street. She suddenly calls out to them in a friendly tone. She asks the children if they would like to play some fun and interesting games with her. She inquires if they are siblings, and the unsuspecting Shen Qingyan tells her the truth that they are just neighbors and friends. Then the woman asks with clear ill intent where their parents are, noting they are very young and going to school by themselves. Lin Zikin immediately pulls Shen Qingyan away by the arm, stating firmly they are going to be late and should not waste any more time. When they get to school, he warns Shen Qingyan seriously never to casually answer questions from strangers who approach her in the future. Shen Qingyan nods and says she understands the lesson. After school ends that day, Lin Zikin takes Shen Qingyan on a different, longer route home to avoid potential danger. As they pass a narrow, deserted alley, they run into the same woman from that morning. He had already taken a deliberate detour, but he did not expect her to still find and follow them deliberately. The woman smiles and them she has very tasty snacks at her house, inviting them to come over and play. This time, a rough-looking man appears silently behind her without speaking another word. The man rushes forward suddenly, trying to duck them both. Lin Zikin is already prepared for a fight. He assumes a solid attack stance and throws a powerful punch, hitting the man squarely in the center of his chest. The impact sends the man flying backward through the air like a cannonball. The woman is utterly stunned by this sight. She cannot comprehend how a mere elementary school student could possess the strength to send a grown man flying. Before she can figure it out, Lin Zikin is already standing in front of her. He then lands another swift punch directly on her face. Next, he picks up a loose brick from the ground nearby and walks steadily towards the two incapacitated adults. He notes there are no security cameras around in the secluded alley. To eliminate any future trouble, he feels he has to finish them off permanently. He does not want to do this morally, but he knows if they tell anyone about what happened today, his abnormal abilities will be exposed to the world. His entire careful plan to live a low-key life and grow stronger in secret would be ruined forever. But just then, the ground beneath their feet begins to tremble violently. The deafening roar of a giant beast echoes through the narrow alley. Then they see a massive mutated beast appear right before their eyes. A giant mutated rat. The rat opens its massive, dripping maw and bites off the lower half of the woman's body in one bite. It then grabs the man holding one body part in each hand and eats them messily like snacks. Without a second thought, Lin Zikin rushes towards the terrified Shen Qingyan. He scoops her up into his arms and runs for his life away from the scene. Fortunately, not long after they escape, a single cyborg flies over at high speed from the sky. She flies straight towards the giant mutated rat with purpose, stopping only when she is directly above its head. Then she raises her mechanized right arm and begins to charge her weapon with a humming sound. Once fully charged, she aims the arm cannon directly at the giant rat and fires multiple tranquilizer shells. The giant mutated rat is bombarded relentlessly by the projectiles. A moment later, it succumbs to the drugs and feels an overwhelming wave of dizziness. At that very moment, the female cyborg swoops down and swipes her glowing energy blade cleanly across the giant rat's neck, killing it. Before we continue, if you like our recaps, please subscribe and leave a comment. We desperately need your support to continue posting recaps. Back to the story. After returning home safely, Lin Zikin calmly analyzes the day's battle. He estimates the female cyborg's rank is probably not very high. He notes she first weakened the giant rat with tranquilizer darts and then engaged in close combat for 7 full minutes before finally finishing the fight. The giant mutated rat was indeed a tough opponent as an adult specimen. It could grow to be over 3 meters long and possessed a biological rank as high as ordinary tier 5. He feels it was a good thing the cyborgs arrived in the city yesterday, or he and Han would not have escaped. However, he knows relying on others is not safe, and one's own strength is what matters most. After that event, he begins to train even more rigorously than before. He performs weighted squats daily, receiving steady notifications of vitality +2, leg muscle strength +2, and squat proficiency +1. Soon after, he and Shen Qingyan celebrate their 9th birthday together. After they both make their wishes, they exchange small gifts. He gives Shen Qingyan a wooden hairpin which he carved himself in a single night. This was possible after self-learning carpentry with the help of his divine intellect trait. Time flies by, and in the blink of an eye, they graduate from elementary school. By that time, he has successfully unlocked the top dog of elementary school title. He is now just one step away from unlocking the middle school overlord title and obtaining the associated biological trait called Law of the Jungle. During the vacation before middle school starts, he trains with high intensity to prepare for unlocking the title faster and to improve his own strength. He insists on performing 1,000 weighted push-ups every single day. The system rewards him with Vitality +Thuff 2000, Arm Muscle Strength +Thuff 2000, and Push-Up Proficiency +1000. On the day before school starts, his biological rank successfully breaks through to Ordinary Tier 3. All his physical attributes receive a significant boost from this breakthrough. He has also been keeping a close eye on the news about the prodigy from the capital. That prodigy is now 14 years old and can lift a special aloe weighing 2,000 kilograms with one hand. Lin Ziken knows the genes of a Goliath ant can increase one's strength by at least 4 to 8 times. Even calculating at a conservative 4 times multiplier, the prodigy's true base strength equals lifting 400 kilograms with one hand. In comparison, his own strength is still greater. Thinking of this, he grows excited. He wonders what kind of improvement he would see if he underwent gene fusion himself in the future. Soon after, his middle school life officially begins. Since he was already the top student in the city during elementary school, the principals of all the top middle schools try to recruit him. In the end, he accepts the invitation from Shanghai Middle School. His one condition is that Shen Qingyan can continue to be in the same school and the same class as him. On the first day, the principal and his homeroom teacher personally come to welcome him. They tell him they expect him to win more honors for the school in the future. After some simple pleasantries, he finds an excuse and leaves the meeting. The reason for his quick escape is that Shanghai Middle School has excellent sports facilities. He and Shen Qingyan had planned to play a game of badminton together before classes started. He never expects they would be interrupted by unwelcome guests. Not long after they start playing, a senior student approaches and tells them they are new students and that the court is reserved for upperclassmen. 2 other senior students act even more lewdly, openly hitting on Shen Qingyan. At this, Lin Ziken's face darkens. He tells the few seniors to get away from her immediately. He states he does not need to explain the first-come, first-served rule to them. The lead senior student is bossy and claims no such rule exists. The senior says even if the Jade Emperor himself got there first, he would still take the court. Lin Ziken says no more. He simply tosses the shuttlecock in his hand and swings his racket at it with immense force. The shuttlecock shoots away so fast it creates a sonic boom. It directly pierces through the senior student's racket and then through the brim of his cap. The 3 seniors are instantly terrified by the display. They think the speed is impossible for a human. They wonder if he could be a gene fuser, but note he is too young. They realize if his aim had been off by a little, their boss would have gotten his head blown off. They immediately line up and bow, calling him boss and admitting they were wrong. Then they scurry away in fear. Perhaps because this incident spreads quickly through the school, no one ever tries to bully them again during class. Since he has already finished learning all the middle school curriculum, he mostly reads interesting extracurricular books at night. After his daily physical training, he uses the internet to learn various new skills online. With the help of divine intellect, he gradually dabbles in many areas. He learns photography, cooking, driving, swimming, wilderness survival, and various sports skills. He does this to unlock the middle school overlord title as quickly as possible. He not only ranks first in every subject in the entire school, but also helps the school participate in various national middle school competitions. He wins gold, silver, and bronze medals in math, physics, chemistry, and computer programming. The reason he does not take first place in everything is to avoid drawing too much attention from higher authorities. A semester passes in a flash. He does not expect the title to remain locked for so long. His outstanding performance has earned him a large flock of female fans in the school. He pays them no mind at all. Aside from tutoring Shen Qing'an, he focuses all his attention on the upcoming school sports meet. He figures that if he can dominate the sports meet completely, he should finally be able to unlock middle school overlord. For this sports meet, he only participates in 3 events: shot put, high jump, and sprinting. These 3 major events represent strength, jumping ability, and speed respectively. He believes dominating these 3 categories will signify a complete athletic dominance over the school. Although he holds back significantly during the competitions to not seem too absurd, winning first place in each is still relatively easy for him. Just as he receives all his gold medals, he suddenly feels a powerful surge of energy within his body. The system notifies him that his academic and athletic achievements have completely outclassed the entire school, leaving all other students in the dust. He has successfully unlocked the title Middle School Overlord. The titles King of Kindergarten, Top Dog of Elementary School, and Middle School Overlord have all been unlocked. The achievement Dominate 9 years of compulsory education is now complete. He acquires the biological trait Law of the Jungle. The effect description states that his life essence is now superior to all ordinary living things. He can devour the life essence of other beings to promote his own evolution. After he leaves the school, Lin Zikin ponders the meaning of the new trait. He wonders what exactly life essence is supposed to be. Suddenly, he has an epiphany and turns to look at Shen Qing'an. He asks if he can borrow her beast fang necklace for a moment. Shen Qing'an takes off the necklace and places the fang in his hand without hesitation. The next second, a system notification appears. It states he has devoured a trace of the abyssal giant butterfly's life essence. His abyssal giant butterfly atlas progress is now at 1%. The notification explains that when the atlas progress bar reaches 100%, he can evolve corresponding partial attributes or skills from that mutated beast. After returning home, he immediately tries to look up information about the abyssal giant butterfly. He finds nothing useful in his books or online. It seems this particular mutated beast is not documented publicly, so he will have to rely on himself to learn about it. He then takes out the other matching beast fang from his own backpack and concentrates on devouring its essence as well. His abyssal giant butterfly atlas progress increases to 2%. He notes that gaining only 2% total means the beast bone has very little life essence left after all this time. To fully unlock the atlas, he will definitely have to find another method. Afterward, to increase the intensity of his daily training, he starts cycling with Shen Qing'an to and from school every day. This adds a consistent cardiovascular workout to his routine. Just then, during one of these cycles, he is stopped by Mr. Go, the coach of the school's martial arts team. Mr. Go explains he saw Lin Zikin's outstanding performance at the sports meet. He sincerely wants to invite the boy to join the school's official martial arts team. The coach leaves immediately after issuing the invitation, not giving Lin Zikin a chance to refuse on the spot. Back home later, Lin Zikin swats a common mosquito. He comes to a clear conclusion from this small action. Whether it is a mosquito or a cockroach, animals that are too weak cannot trigger the law of the jungle trait. Only powerful mutated beasts possess enough concentrated life essence to be devoured. To test this theory properly, he decides to go to a large supermarket that sells special beast meat. At the supermarket, he sees the dedicated beast meat counter and eagerly runs over to it. He nervously reaches out his hand towards a piece of the displayed meat. The moment his fingers touch it, a vigorous stream of life essence is pulled and devoured into his body. He clenches his fist in silent excitement. His guess was completely correct. Shen Qing'an, however, looks at him like he is acting crazy. She asks what the beast meat feels like and if it is different from regular meat. He does not tell her the truth about absorbing life essence. Instead, he says it does not feel much different, just a little fresher. He asks if she wants to touch it too. Shen Qing'an quickly waves her hands and says no, it is fine since he has already touched it. Then he suggests that since they are already here, they might as well buy some beast meat to try cooking at home. He plans to use the excuse of buying it to touch more of the prepackaged pieces. Since mutated beast meat is famously very expensive, he chooses the cheapest option available, which is called phantom squid. Shen Qing'an worries about the cost and suggests they ask his mother, Auntie Shin, for permission before buying it. Lin Zikin pats her head and says he already told his mom. He claims she even told him to buy a lot so they can have her family over to try it too. Actually, he has another secret reason for buying the meat. He is worried that absorbing the life essence might cause the meat to spoil immediately, so he wants to test this theory with meat they own. He scans the code to pay for a total of 3 caddies of meat. It costs him 2,994 units of currency. Holding the packaged beast meat as they leave the store, his heart aches a little. The price is too expensive, and he wonders when he will be able to afford to buy it again. It is already past 9 o'clock at night after buying the meat, so the two friends head straight home without any further detours. On the way home, Lin Zikin cannot resist trying out his new ability. First, he touches the packaged phantom squid meat. A system notification informs him he has devoured a trace of the Phantom Squid's life essence. His Phantom Squid Atlas progress reaches 0.1%. He quickly makes a calculation in his mind. This result means he would need to devour 100 catties, or 50 kilograms, to reach 100% progress. With the meat costing 998 yuan per catty, it would cost at least 100,000 yuan in total. He remembers the Phantom Squid's ability is to disappear in water. He thinks that if he could obtain this useful ability, the 100,000 yuan would definitely be worth the investment. Besides, this is the cheapest beast meat he can currently buy. His next important task is to think about how to make a lot of money. He then looks at the beast meat in his hand. Some time has passed since he absorbed the first trace of essence, but the meat still has not spoiled. It seems absorbing life essence does not immediately damage the meat's quality. So he boldly begins absorbing more of the Phantom Squid's life essence as they walk. In just a moment, his Phantom Squid Atlas progress rises to 3%. Because he is distracted by this process, he almost cycles into a pedestrian. He is apologizing to the person when Shen Qingyan suddenly points not far away. She tells Lin Zichen to look because their teacher, whom they call Teacher Strawberry, is being held hostage by a bad guy. A group of police officers ahead are trying to persuade the assailant. They tell him he is surrounded and should calm down and put down his weapon. The police captain looks at the officer next to him and orders them not to fire rashly because the distance is too close and they could hurt the hostage. Just then, Lin Zichen picks up a small stone from the ground. A moment later, he throws the stone with precise force. It flies past the assailant's ear and hits the hand holding the knife directly. The police officers seize this opportunity to rush in and subdue the assailant. Lin Zichen makes a gesture to Shen Qingyan, preparing to quietly lead her away from the scene. But just then, the police captain calls out to him. The captain asks if it was him who threw that stone. Lin Zichen quickly waves his hands and denies it was him. Then he pulls Shen Qingyan and they quickly slip away into the crowd. The captain is left puzzled by the display of strength. He wonders why someone would do a good deed and not admit to it. He mentions out loud that there is a financial reward for being a good Samaritan. Hearing the word reward, Lin Zichen immediately stops walking. He runs back even faster towards the captain. He scratches his head and admits that he remembers now, and it was him who threw the stone. The captain is speechless for a second. He tells the little rascal to come back with him to the station to give a formal statement. He promises to help him apply for the reward. Just as Shen Qingyan and Lin Zichen are about to go to the police station to give their statement, the unexpected happens. The subdued assailant's body on the ground suddenly begins to twist and mutate. He transforms violently into a giant mutated rat right before their eyes. The police captain shouts that it is not good, stating the man is a cultist showing signs of mutation into a giant mutated rat. After mutating, the giant rat pounces on a female police officer nearby, pinning her down. The captain quickly calls for backup on his radio. He calls headquarters to report a giant mutated rat at Jianbai West Road Park. He gives a preliminary judgment that it is a cultist fused with the rat lord's gene. He states they are unable to handle it and require immediate reinforcements. The other security officers have already drawn their guns and are firing at the rat. Lin Zichen grabs Teacher Strawberry and Shen Qingyan and runs for cover. Just as he has run a short distance, a cyborg flies overhead. He immediately stops to watch. He sees the female cyborg kick the giant rat powerfully in the face, sending it flying back several meters. Then she opens the armor on her chest. A laser cannon charges up and two bright purple laser beams shoot out. The moment the rat is hit by the lasers, its flesh and blood begin to dissolve. Finally, it turns completely to ash. Lin Zichen is stunned by the display. He wonders if this is the true power of a cyborg, finding it incredibly strong. Afterward, he pushes his bike, ready to leave. But he unexpectedly discovers that the beast meat from which he had absorbed life essence has now actually spoiled. It seems that after the life essence is fully absorbed, the meat will still spoil, but with a delay. He knows he has to come up with a quick excuse to explain why the expensive meat spoiled. He can only blame it on the cultist's attack. He throws the beast meat on the ground dramatically. He says it is all this cultist's fault, claiming the attack from the cyborg was too intense and accidentally cooked the meat. The knave Shen Qingyan quickly comforts him, saying it is okay and the most important thing is that they are safe. They had intended to go home first, but at the captain's firm request, they get into a police car to go to the station and give their statement. Unexpectedly, the cultist's charred remains are also in the car for transport. Although it is just a pile of charred remains, the smell is very pungent and unpleasant. Suddenly, a new thought strikes Lin Zichen. The beast fang from before still had residual life essence, so perhaps the fresh corpse would have it too. He wonders if he could devour the Rat King's genes from the cultist remains. With this idea in mind, he begins to reach for the body subtly. The moment his fingers touch the ashes, a system notification appears. It states he has devoured a trace of the giant mutated rat's life essence. His giant mutated rat atlas progress jumps to 5%. He realizes the amount is so much larger than from the old beast fang or the store-bought meat. It seems the freshness of the source is directly proportional to the amount of absorbable life essence. Soon, they arrive at the security team's office. The captain tells him he has already applied for the Good Samaritan Award on his behalf. The captain then asks him honestly how a middle school student, from such a distance and in such dim light, managed to hit the cultist's hand so accurately with just a stone. Lin Zikin explains it is probably because he often trains his right hand for strength and precision. The captain falls into a deep, thoughtful silence after this explanation. Just then, the office door is pushed open. Shen Qingyan rushes in, followed closely by his parents. His mom hugs him tightly, saying how scared she was and asking if he is okay. He quickly comforts her, telling her not to get so worked up because he is perfectly fine. He mentions he even got a Good Samaritan Award, but his mom grabs his hand and makes him promise that next time he is in danger, he will hide in a safe place first. She says she just wants to see him grow up safe and sound. He takes his mother's arm as they leave the station, promising her he will protect himself first. As they walk out of the security station, he overhears the officers discussing the rat god cult. They say the cult is getting more blatant and has even infiltrated universities. They mainly target art students who cannot get legitimate gene fusion qualifications. The one killed tonight was an art student from Guanjin University who was swayed by the cult. One officer states they have to wipe out all these traitors. Another says that it's just treating the symptoms, not the root cause, and they must take down the self-proclaimed Rat King. While walking home, Lin Zichen uses his phone to look up more information about the Rat God cult. He finds that the cult's main base is in Shanghai City, and its members are mostly societal failures. Their activities have become increasingly frequent this year. Suddenly, he forms a theory. He thinks the Rat King must want to evolve into an advanced-level being, which is why he orders his followers to collect large amounts of evolutionary resources for him. He wonders if the Rat King has already developed human-like intelligence. Then, as he passes a dark street, he sees a giant rat bigger than a house cat scurrying past. He wonders this could also be related to the Rat King's influence. He shakes his head, thinking that since this is the South, it is somewhat normal for rats to be as big as cats. Just then, he notices that Shen Qingyan beside him is unusually quiet. He considers it is that situation again. He remembers that whenever Shen Qingyan is nervous or in a sudden stressful situation, she sometimes has an accident, just like when she was little. But he has a growing feeling that this condition of hers might be related to some unknown potential within her. Meanwhile, back at the station, the security captain is still pondering how a middle school student could have thrown a stone with such incredible force. Just then, he hears the sharp squeaking of a rat. He looks towards the sound and sees an enormous giant rat in the corner of the room. The next second, the rat pounces directly at him. The captain quickly draws his weapon and opens fire, and a moment later, the sounds of gunfire and squeaking stop abruptly. Before we continue, if you like our recaps, please subscribe and leave a comment. We desperately need your support to continue posting recaps. Back to the story. The next day, Lin Zichen goes to class as usual. He thinks to himself that compared to last night's rat man cultist and the female cyborg, he is still far too weak. It seems he has to earn money as soon as possible to be able to max out the Phantom Squid's unlock progress bar. Relying only on prize money from school and external academic competitions is too slow. So he thinks about becoming an internet influencer, a study tuber, or live streaming to sell tutorials. He quickly dismisses the idea because although the money would come fast, it would make him too high profile. He realizes his thinking is wrong. In a world full of gene fusers and cyborgs, martial arts are clearly valued more than academics. The prize money for martial arts competitions is far higher than for academic ones. He clenches his fist, deciding this path is viable and it is time to act. Inside the school gymnasium, Mr. Go is drinking water. Lin Zichen goes up and greets him. Mr. Go's face lights up with excitement, asking if he is thinking of joining or wants to learn more about the martial arts team first. Lin Zichen asks in a low voice if he joins the martial arts team. Will he have a chance to participate in the city's martial arts competitions, and is the prize money high? Mr. Go replies proudly that of course he will have a chance, and the prize money is not low, with a single prize around tens of thousands. Hearing this, Lin Zichen grabs Mr. Go's hand and pleads the teacher to let him join the martial arts team. The teacher then waves over all the team members. They each briefly introduce themselves, and Lin Zichen greets them as well. Since he has never formally practiced martial arts, Mr. Gu first demonstrates some basic punching and kicking techniques for him. After a full set mater, Go wipes his sweat and looks at him, saying not to be fooled by the simple movements because they are actually quite difficult. He mentions the fastest learner on the team literally took a whole week to learn them. Lin Zichen then begins to practice with the help of his divine intellect trait. Mr. Gu's movements are already perfectly imprinted in his mind, and he easily replicates the fist techniques. A system notification appears. He is practicing fist techniques, gaining vitality +1, hand muscle strength +1, hand agility +1, and fist technique proficiency +1. Next come the leg techniques, with another notification for leg muscle strength +1, leg agility +1, and leg technique proficiency +1. Mr. Guo is shocked, stating it is absolutely impossible. His teammates are also stunned, wondering how he can learn it just by watching once. Mr. Guo's eyes are fixed on him, convinced he must be a once-in-a-generation martial arts prodigy. Later, his mom calls him over for dinner. He rushes over with his bowl and asks what they are having tonight. His mom says proudly it is the phantom squid, the dish he has been yearning for. The perfectly cooked dish is brought to the table. He takes a sniff and finds it incredibly aromatic. He then takes a bite. Without a second thought, a notification pops up stating he has devoured a trace of the phantom squid's life essence, and his phantom squid atlas increases to 301%. He realizes he can devour essence just by eating it and thinks that if he had known that, he would not have had to touch the meat earlier. Just then, a news report comes on the television. It announces a genius girl has shocked the nation. At just 14 years old, she successfully fused with an energy core, becoming the youngest cyborg in history. When her power is activated, she can easily lift a 2,000-kilogram SUV with one hand, sprint 100 meters in just 3 seconds, and has a standing vertical jump of 8 meters. Lin Zikin ponders who is stronger between the capital's prodigy from before and this genius girl of today, and whether gene fusers or cyborgs are superior. Then comes another news report with tragic news. Security Captain He Chunshin tragically passed away in his office at 11 p.m. last night. According to surveillance footage, he was killed by a giant mutated rat that had infiltrated the security station. Lin Zikin's expression turns grim. He wonders if it is the same kind of giant rat from last night. He feels an even greater sense of urgency to increase his strength. After intensifying his training, his 100-meter dash time reaches 4.61 seconds, his vertip reaches 5.31 meters, and he can lift about 1,000 kilograms with one hand. He does not neglect his martial arts training either, hoping to improve his strength quickly to prepare for the upcoming martial arts competition. The next morning, he is about to head to the gymnasium to continue learning new martial knowledge and practice. Out of curiosity, Shen Qingyan comes along with him. Just then, a senior girl suddenly appears in front of him. She addresses him as Junior Zikin, saying he has not had breakfast yet, and that she brought him some fresh milk. Lin Zikin pulls Shen Qingyan and walks away, refusing the offer politely. This scene is witnessed by another senior boy who admires the girl. This boy thinks to himself that Lin Zikin beat him in the sports meet and is now rejecting his goddess's gift. So, he blocks Lincoln's path and accuses Lin Zikin of having no manners, saying he could have just accepted the milk and given it to someone else instead of breaking the girl's heart. Lin Zikin is speechless at this logic, thinking that would be even more impolite. The senior boy gets even angrier. He insists that Lin Zikin should drink it, claiming that not drinking it is a sign of disrespect and therefore impolite. After saying that, he even issues a formal challenge. He challenges Lin Zikin to a match, stating that if he loses, he will never say another word to him, but if he wins, Lin Zikin must drink all the milk. At that moment, a new system achievement appears. The achievement requires him, in a formal competitive setting, to use the most primitive biological methods to cumulatively eliminate 1,000 different competitors. The reward is the biological trait natural selection. A progress bar shows cumulative eliminate opponents 0 out of 1,000. Lin Zikin smiles. After waiting for so long, this fourth achievement mission has finally arrived. He looks at the angry senior and accepts the challenge to have a match. The match is ready to begin under the watchful eyes of the teacher and the gathered students. A girl with a ponytail blushes deeply and shouts words of support for Junior Zikin. Even the senior girl who had offered the milk earlier takes out her phone, announcing her intention to take many good pictures of him during the fight. The angry senior, Zhang Kai, grits his teeth in frustration. He thinks internally that everyone already assumes he will lose this match. His true desire is to take advantage of this genius junior before the boy is fully developed and beat him up to prove himself. He reflects on the past month, noting how Lin Zikin's talent has been off the charts with truly explosive progress. He feels a strong urgency that if he does not strike now, he will never have another chance to show off his own skill. Lin Zikin urges his opponent to hurry up because he needs to get home for dinner soon. Zhang Kai agrees to this. The teacher raises his hand and formally announces the start of the match, reminding both participants that friendship comes first and sparring second. But Zhang Kai suddenly shouts for everyone to wait a moment. He pretentiously declares that since Lin Zikin has only been on the team for a month, and he himself has been there almost 2 years, he will give the junior the first 3 moves to make things fair. The moment Zhang Kai finishes speaking, Lin Zikin has already rushed directly in front of him. Lin Zikin states he accepts the offer and throws a single, powerful punch. Zhang Kai is instantly sent flying backward and lands hard on the floor, foaming slightly at the mouth after the impact. Mr. Go's jaw drops open in pure disbelief at the one-punch victory. The other students present are also in a state of shock, exclaiming about the ridiculous and overwhelming strength just displayed. Shen Qingyan waves excitedly from her spot below the stage, happily announcing Zikin's win. The two senior girls also jump up and down in excitement, calling him very cool. A system notification then appears before Lin Zikin. It states he has defeated a formal competitor, successfully captured the heart of the opposite sex, and gained a form of priority in mate selection. His cumulative eliminated opponents count increases from 0 to 1 out of 1,000. Realizing he still has to eliminate 999 more competitors to unlock the natural selection trait, he turns to the other senior members standing beside him. He suggests they all take this opportunity to have a group sparring session as well. Hearing this suggestion, the seniors visibly flinch and immediately begin finding various excuses to slip away from the gym. At this moment, Zhang Kai manages to get up from the floor shakily. He shouts loudly that he does not accept the loss, claiming the punch was a sneak attack before he was ready. He declares fiercely that if they were to do it again, he would definitely crush him. But Mr. Go intervenes firmly, telling Zhang Kai he has to honor the bet they made. The teacher states that whether Zikin's punch was luck or an overwhelming display of strength, they can have another senior, Little Li, tested out officially. He calls for Little Li by name. Little Li, who was about to sneak away with the others, is startled by his name. He then reluctantly gets into a proper fighting stance and stands opposite Lin Zikin. He nervously asks the junior brother not to hit his face during the match. 10 minutes later, the gym floor is littered with all the senior members. To not seem too outrageous, Lin Zikin had deliberately exchanged a few moves with each one before knocking them down. However, the system only recorded the initial victory over Zhang Kai. The elimination count did not increase at all after defeating the other seniors. He realizes that simple, informal sparring does not count toward the achievement. The defeat likely needs to be direct, formal, and recognized as a competition. Just then, Mr. Go places a heavy, approving hand on his shoulder. The teacher calls him a true genius, noting with amazement that he has only been on the martial arts team for a little over a month and has already become the team's undeniable ace. Mr. Gu declares with confidence that this year, in the district martial arts tournament, their Shanghai Middle School will definitely defeat all the other schools and take first place. Lin Zikin thinks internally that participating in such a martial arts tournament would indeed be a direct way to defeat many formal opponents. Successfully defeating opponents in that official competition should surely advance the achievement mission's progress. Right at that moment, Zhang Kai suddenly shouts at him again across the gym. Zhang Kai declares loudly that he honors the bet fully and that from now on, even if Lin Zikin rides on his head, he will never say another word to him. Hearing this vulgar declaration, everyone in earshot looks completely disgusted. Before he can finish his statement, they all scurried away to avoid further embarrassment. In the following days, motivated to get into the martial arts class, Shen Qingyan also begins training diligently with him. After they complete a daily 3,000-meter jog, he has her practice basic martial arts techniques for a full hour to improve her punching and kicking skills. Then he has her do multiple sets of sit-ups and push-ups to increase her overall strength and physical fortitude. After every rigorous training session, he carefully massages her sore muscles to help them relax and recover. And as for himself, to prepare properly for the upcoming martial arts competition, he doubles his own training intensity without hesitation. To unlock the valuable natural selection trait sooner, he goes all out in his daily efforts. Time passes quickly with this routine, and a month later, the long-awaited day of the martial arts competition finally arrives. The day of the middle school martial arts competition has finally arrived. Unfortunately, their team is drawn into the same group as the strongest team, Shanghai No 1 Middle School. This news makes the faces of his teammates fall visibly. They whisper among themselves that No 1 Middle has a beast this year who can run the 100-meter dash in under 9 seconds, and they are definitely going to get crushed. But at this moment, Lin Zikin voluntarily stands up. He tells Mr. Gu he would like to go first in the match order. Mr. Go readily agrees to this request, putting him forward as their first fighter. Shen Qingyan and Mr. Zhu cheer for him from below the stage while he warms up on the platform. With a heavy thud, his opponent appears on the stage. The opponent is a very tall guy, at least 1.9 meters in height. Lin Zikin complains internally about whether this can really be a middle school student. The tall opponent then comments that he has seen Lin Zikin's name on the list. He says that to stand on the stage of the 8th school league as just a first year shows great talent, but this is not a place for a short junior, who is not even 1.7 meters tall. He promises to make Lin Zikin feel the difference in physique and strength. With the referee's signal to begin, the tall guy is the first to charge. He throws a powerful punch, which Lin Zikin easily dodges. Seizing the opportunity, Lin Zikin lightly slaps the tall guy's chest. A scene that shocks the entire audience then occurs. The tall guy's whole body flies backward and does not stop until he is completely off the competition stage. The referee immediately announces Lin Zikin's win. Shen Qingyan cheers from below, calling little Chen amazing. The team members also shout loudly that Zikin is awesome. The opposing coach points at the big guy and scolds him loudly about footwork. He yells that he has said many times not to charge recklessly and to use footwork. Asking why he never listens, a system notification appears. It states he has successfully defeated a competitor and his competition ranking has improved. His cumulative eliminated opponents count becomes 2 out of 10,000. This confirms that defeating an opponent in a highly competitive match increases the achievement mission's progress. The opposing coach then looks at another team member named Chen Feng. He orders Chen Feng to defeat that first-year junior as quickly as possible. Chen Feng acknowledges and enters the stage. With the referee's start call, Chen Feng rushes over and aims a whip kick at Lin Zikin's head. Lin Zikin dodges with a squat and then slaps out with his palm. Chen Feng spins through the air and lands face first on the ground. A stretcher immediately carries him away for a hospital check-up because it looks like he hits his head. The audience, who has not seen the move clearly, starts to voice their doubts. They wonder how the student from Shanghai Middle School is so lucky. They comment that the last opponent just rushes off the stage and loses, and this one does too. Some even shout that it must be a fixed match and demand a refund. The opposing coach holds his head in his hands, knowing it is not luck. He understands this first year from Shanghai Middle School is genuinely skilled. He looks at the ace player beside him named Go Fei. He tells Gao Fei to go up next, to focus on defense and not attack proactively, and states he absolutely cannot lose. Gao Fei walks onto the stage with a calm expression, telling his coach not to worry because he will win. After getting on stage, he assumes his stance with a strategy already in mind. He thinks Lin Zikin's body is not strong, that he is just agile and clever in duels, which is why he keeps winning. But Gao Fei can sprint 100 meters in 9 seconds and has more combat experience. He believes that if he takes the duel seriously, there is no reason for him to lose. The audience starts to murmur as well. They have heard this Gao Fei from No. One middle can run the 100-meter dash in 9 seconds, which is insane for a middle school student. They also mention his father is a gene fuser, so as a descendant, Zhao Fei's physical fitness is far beyond an ordinary person's. As soon as the referee announces the start, Zhao Fei quickly appears in front of Lin Zikin. He uses his strongest fist technique, called the flowing water-shattering rock fist. The coach shouts from below, asking Zhao Fei what he is doing because he told him to focus on defense, not attack. Zhao Fei responds, internally that is a genius, he does not need defense. Lin Zikin just keeps dodging without fighting back, thinking the fist technique is interesting and deciding to observe and learn it first. A moment later, Gao Fei is panting heavily. He wonders why he cannot hit him. He then stops and asks aloud how Lin Zikin can dodge all his attacks, saying it is not scientific. Lin Zikin speaks up, telling him to use all his other moves if he has any. Gao Fei thinks this is mockery and unleashes an even more ferocious flurry of punches. Seeing it is the same fist technique, Lin Zikin decides not to hold back any longer. He kicks Gao Fei in the abdomen, sending him flying off the stage. The entire audience is stunned, while their side erupts in cheers. They call it awesome, a 3-person sweep, and a beautiful win. They express how good it feels to be carried to victory. The subsequent opponents are weaker than the previous ones and are all taken out by Lin Zikin in a single blow. Soon all 5 members of Shanghai No. One middle school are dealt with. Over the next 2 days, he single-handedly defeats 2 other schools. In the end, he successfully leads Shanghai Middle School to win the championship of the 8th School League. His cumulative eliminated opponents reach 16. He realizes he still needs to defeat 84 different opponents to complete the natural selection achievement, which will probably take years. Although the mission cannot be completed in a short time, Mr. Gu gives him a full 20,000 yuan from this competition's prize money. Adding the prize money from various academic competitions, he now has 30,000 yuan in hand. But this 30,000 is quickly spent on buying phantom squid meat. After eating 30 caddies of phantom squid meat in a row, he manages to raise the phantom squid atlas's opening progress to 33%. Entering his 2nd year of middle school, he successfully breaks through from ordinary tier 3 to ordinary tier 4. Now he can easily lift a 1090-kilogram weight with one hand. His standing vertical jump reaches 5.65 meters and his 100-meter dash takes only 4.49 seconds. Time flies by, and Shen Qingyan and he successfully graduate from the junior high division of Shanghai Middle School. Soon the high school entrance exam results are out, but Shen Qingyan is very dejected. She says that little Chen is first in both academics and martial arts in the entire district. While her academics are good, her martial arts score does not meet the admission threshold for Shanghai High's advanced martial arts class. She worries this means they cannot continue to go to the same high school. He wipes away her tears and comforts her, telling her not to worry. He mentions that the principal of Shanghai High School says he is coming to his house for a visit later, and she should come and meet him too. Shen Qingyan cries even more sadly, saying the principal is definitely coming to invite him to stay in the advanced martial arts class, which has nothing to do with her, so why should she go? He pulls Shen Qingyan to his side and reassures her. He states that the only condition for him staying at Shanghai High School is that his deskmate must be her. Later, the principal of Shanghai High School visits Lin Zichen's home for a discussion. The principal talks with him and his family for about an hour. He basically expresses his strong hope for Lin Zichen to continue his studies at Shanghai High School. Before leaving, the principal looks directly at Lin Zichen. He states that as long as Lin Zichen agrees to study there, he can voice any thoughts or conditions he might have. Lin Zichen quickly pulls Shen Qingyan to his side. He thanks the principal but says he has only one request. His condition is for Shen Qingyan to be able to continue in the same high school class with him. The principal leans in to look at Shen Qingyan and confirms her name. He tells her that when school starts, she can come and register at Shanghai High School together with Lin Zichen. Before leaving, the principal gives them a clear gesture of approval. They both quickly thank him for his understanding. After successfully choosing their high school, Lin Zichen participates in his final middle school martial arts tournament. Unsurprisingly, he continues to easily help Shanghai Middle School win the championship once more. After receiving the prize money, he goes to a dense forest outside the city. He is only 20% away from unlocking the Phantom Squid Atlas completely. Because he does not know what uncontrollable situations might occur upon unlocking it, he specifically chooses this secluded mountain forest on the outskirts of Shanghai City to begin the devouring process. The system notifies him that he has devoured a large amount of the Phantom Squid's life essence. The Phantom Squid Atlas reaches 100%. He successfully unlocks the Phantom Squid Atlas and acquires the new biological trait called Water Melding Fortune. The system describes the trait as greatly enhancing his affinity with water, allowing him to move freely within it, coming and going without a trace. After reading the effect description, he feels a little disappointed. The Water Melding Fortune effect feels somewhat underwhelming to him. He immediately tests it in a nearby pond. He finds that his skin does not wrinkle after prolonged immersion like before, and he can clearly feel the water's resistance decrease when he swims. But other than those effects, there are no other obvious changes. He thinks it makes sense, because the Phantom Squid is a low-level mutated beast, not even worth using for gene fusion. To get better biological traits, he will have to save up money to buy better beast meat later. Alternatively, when he gets stronger, he can hunt and devour wild mutated beasts like the giant mutated rats. Then, a week before school starts, his mom and Shen Qingyan's family plan a trip together. To better study and practice his new Water Melding Fortune trait, he suggests they go to the beach. This is also Shen Qingyan's first time seeing the seaside. Standing in the water, she only feels the seawater is very cold, while Lin Zichen starts swimming immediately. As he swims, his various physical attributes also improve through the activity. Shen Qingyan looks at him and shouts for him not to swim by himself. She asks him to come and teach her how to swim. It seems Shen Qingyan does not know how to swim, so he agrees to teach her patiently. Because Shen Qingyan's athletic talent is usually average, he privately thinks she probably will not learn quickly. He is immediately proven wrong. The moment she starts, she has already learned the basics of swimming. Then she puts her head under the water and is surprised to find her eyes feel no discomfort. She can also see clearly underwater. The next second, she shoots out of the water, which startles him. Shen Qingyan says excitedly that she is amazing. She has always heard people say it is hard to open your eyes in the sea because it stings, but she feels no discomfort at all. It actually feels cool and quite comfortable. Watching Shen Qingyan learn to swim in an instant, Lin Zichen falls into deep thought. No matter how good her affinity for water is, it seems impossible to learn that fast. He considers the only plausible explanation. He wonders if the reason Shen Qingyan has always had issues with bedwetting is because she is naturally and uniquely attuned to water. He speculates that maybe, in a way, she has a special cultivation physique like in the cultivation novels. That would be amazing, potentially even better than his own system that requires constant training. Next, Shen Qingyan and he dive together, but her performance continues to surprise him. They hold their breath underwater for over 10 minutes. For a beginner, this duration is not simple, even for a trained person. But just then, an accident happens. Shen Qingyan suddenly hears a strange, incomprehensible sound in the water, which scares her so much that she quickly swims to the surface. After surfacing, he looks at her and asks what happened and why she got so nervous. She explains with lingering fear that a strange sound kept echoing in her ear, a sound so strange it was frightening. He asks what kind of sound it was, but she replies she could not understand it. She says it might have been a language she does not know, only that it was a female voice, very real, echoing in her ear until she surfaced, and then it disappeared. They then return to their hotel. After getting back, he searches on his phone but finds no information about what Shen Qingyan described. Because of the incident, he cannot sleep, so he simply starts his nightly training. He performs 1,000 weighted sit-ups. The system rewards him with vitality plus 2,000, abdominal muscle strength plus 2,000, and sit-up proficiency plus 1,000. His biological rank is then promoted to Ordinary Tier 5. He did not expect such a pleasant surprise. Ordinary Tier 5 is a biological rank that can contend with an adult giant mutated rat. He instantly gains more confidence. It seems if he continues to train, tearing apart mutated rats with his bare hands will not be impossible. After advancing, he finds a deserted beach to test his new abilities. Now, his 100-meter dash only takes 3.64 seconds, his vertical jump can reach 6.98 meters, and he can lift a car weighing about 1,600 kilograms with one hand. Compared to when he had just broken through to Ordinary Tier 4, the data improvement is very significant. With this gain, Shen Qingyan and he begin their high school life together. Due to his outstanding grades and reputation, he attracts the attention of many female students. They comment on how handsome he is in person and how lucky they are that he is on duty the same day as them. On his day of duty, he unexpectedly triggers a new system mission. The achievement requires him to cumulatively complete 1,000 tasks with the cooperation of multiple people. The reward is the biological trait social animal, and the progress shows cumulative completed tasks as 1 out of 1,000. He wonders what effect this social animal trait will have, finding it quite intriguing. Since there is not much to do right after school starts, he takes the opportunity to go to the supermarket again. Now that the Phantom Squid is unlocked, it is time to set a new target. Just then, he suddenly sees a different type of beast meat called Rampage Eagle, priced at only 1998 yuan per catty. A smile appears on his face and he decides to choose that one. I hope that you liked today's video, and if you did, hit that like button as today's goal is 1,500 likes. Comment next part down below for the next part. Also, consider subscribing with the notification bell on to get notified as soon as a new video drops onto the channel. You can also join the channel to support me financially and watch videos before public release. I'll meet you in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching.